Hello, I hope you're having a good week so far. So, a new post just went up on the blog, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about the topic here on the YouTube channel, just to give a little bit of a spin on it in person. So, up until this point on the blog and on the here on the YouTube channel, I've mainly been talking about why I'm here, how I feel like the current approach to postpartum mood disorders just isn't really very helpful. And also, I've started to mention some concepts that are really important, like how the content of your thinking is really not very important and also very not indicative of who you are, and some different things like that. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of a foundational truth that I think is really important when we start to think about some of these different concepts, and that is who we actually are. So before I had a baby, I probably had kind of a memorized paragraph in my mind about who I was, who is Catherine. And it probably had a lot to do with my past experience, my accomplishments, and also my likes and dislikes. So, I like to cook, I love chocolate, I'm married to a Colombian guy, I am an academic, I'm introverted, I have a master's in counseling, I feel insecure around my mother-in-law, I have these political views or these religious beliefs, or that sort of thing. And I think most people kind of have that sort of description in their mind as to who they really are. So something that I often hear in postpartum communities, especially support groups for postpartum depression and anxiety, is, I don't know who I am anymore. I have no idea who I am anymore. And this is a lot of times because, parents feel like they don't have any time for themselves anymore, for their interests or their hobbies. All of their time has been hijacked by the needs of this new baby. And it also can be because, especially in the cases of postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety, there's a lot of thinking and feeling that feels very uncomfortable for parents. And so they might feel really upset about or even scared of their thoughts and feelings. And so it can feel like those new thoughts and feelings have completely hijacked who they used to believe themselves to be. And but I have really good news, and that is, even as uncomfortable as that can feel, and I know how that feels, reaching that place of where your identity has been shaken a bit is actually an amazing opportunity to see who we really are. And maybe to see that we've actually never really known who we really were, but that we have an opportunity to see it. So let me throw something out there for you. What if who you really are has nothing to do with your past experiences, your accomplishments, your likes and dislikes, how you think and how you feel, but it has everything to do with the fact that you are an extension, a unique representation of the love and the wisdom and the strength that created the universe and that keeps it functioning moment to moment to moment. Just consider that for a minute. And you might be thinking, well, that sounds really great and all, but what evidence is there of that? I don't see any evidence that who I really am is love and peace and wisdom. I mean, look at the thoughts and feelings that I'm having, my goodness. But let me talk about that for a minute. So you might start, if you pay attention to your experience, you might start to notice that you and all human beings are continually being shifted back to what some people might call home base. I first heard that term from Dr. Amy Johnson. She's really great. You can look her up on dramyjohnson.com and hear a lot more about these sorts of things. But we are always being shifted back to this home base, to this place of clarity, to peace, to kind of knowing that that we're okay and that life is okay. And, it might happen, a lot of times it happens when you're least expecting it. You might be, watching a funny TV show, or your partner might say something nice or make a joke, or your baby might do something super cute. And, all of a sudden it's like everything clears. And, there's this sense that I'm okay and that life is okay. Even if it's just for a moment, 30 seconds. And a lot of times then, habitual thought and feeling rushes back in, and depression, anxiety, things that we've been obsessing about, and that kind of sinks back in, and then we're focused on that again. But we're always being shifted back, all just naturally. And I believe it's because that's who we really are. Our problem is we get so distracted by disturbing or negative attention grabbing thoughts and feelings, and so we lose sight of it. But even with all the ways that we lose sight of it, we're always being shifted back. And so consider that. Consider that possibility, that who you really are, aside from any experience that you've had, anything you've accomplished, anything you've ever thought and felt, that at your core, the unchangeable truth is that you are an extension, a representation of this force, and that the true identity of that force, and therefore of you, is love and strength and wisdom and peace. And because it's who you are, it's always there for you. It never goes anywhere. And so on a lot of times, the only thing that has to happen for us to see it and to touch that true nature, that true identity, is for our thinking to clear, or for us to get distracted from our thinking. And it happens all the time if you start to pay attention to it. So start to consider that, because what that does is really and truly amazing. Is it gives us a lot of freedom to be able to act, to feel, to think, to experience whatever comes our way. Because no matter how scary it is, no matter how gripping it is, we're only a thought away from clarity, from our true nature, from what's real and from what's true. If we can just endure the tension of letting thoughts pass without getting all wrapped up in them. So start to consider that. Start to pay, maybe pay attention to it, and see what comes up for you. And when those old stale thoughts of, I don't know who I am, or I've lost myself, or I'm nobody now, come up, maybe just wait for them to pass, and see what wisdom has for you, what's waiting to break through on the other side.